It was a windy winter afternoon inside the indoor teepee at Seven Chiefs Sportsplex on Tsuut'ina Nation, amongst the lands of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Îethka Nakoda First Nation, and more recently the Otipemisiwak Métis. And the Ancestral Science Podcast was excited to learn from BRUCE Starlight from Tsuut'ina about the disconnect of science from spirit and land, the significance of the depth of tobacco roots, the connection between mushrooms and the stars, sacred numbers, dinosaurs and energy, and star people. So grab an apple fritter, maybe a hot tea with some extra sugar, and open your mind and your heart to science, stories, and tea in the teepee with Tsuut'ina Elder BRUCE Starlight.
Now you're telling me what that's for.
That's for your time and your wisdom here today, and to help everyone from on the podcast, to learn a little bit more about Indigenous science and how to learn a little bit more about Indigenous science, and to help our audience understand the depth of science within Indigenous knowledges.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can offer you.
Now I know what it's.
So do you want to start off by introducing yourself so everyone knows who you are?
So my name is Dr. BRUCE Starlight, and we're not allowed to brag about ourselves, but I can say a few things because you presented tobacco. So in most of my life aims, I've accomplished them. And so like I said, I never brag about myself. But, I got the honorary doctorate June 1st of last year.
Congratulations.
And then I got I was the first elected director of the Calgary Stampede Indian, First Nation, whatever you want to call it. And so, like I said, I've accomplished a lot that I've wanted in my life. So hopefully, where my life ends, my children will take over. Because I'm okay. I'm happy. I enjoy life every day. Because my time is near. And it's okay. It's up to him.
Yep.
So that's all I have to say. I can talk all day. He knows. He's worked with me. He's traveled with me. But I don't talk about it. But I've accomplished many things.
Well, your name...
In ceremony, I can.
Yeah.
I can stand up and I can tell people. But every day, I don't do it.
I'll respect that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So there's a question I always ask all of our guests first. What is science to you?
Well, to me, science is a different sphere than spirituality. It should be the same, but the white man keeps things apart because he wants to identify something that he understands, that is visible. But us, our whole being is spirituality and the will of the Creator. So science is nosy. And it means the rocks have grown over it. We're not allowed to dig beyond the rock. It means the rock has grown over it. So we're not allowed to dig below it. Why? Because now you see climate change. You see all kinds of all over the world, not just here. So science, even though they told politicians 40 years ago, you're going to have real bad weather. The winds are going to be stronger. The rains are going to be different. And the ocean currents are going to be different. You see? So we were told. But science and greed go together.
Yeah.
You see? So everything in their world is numbers. If our children are the child welfare, it's easier to apprehend our children, and it's cheaper because they don't have to rebuild a family. They don't have to build a house for them. They don't have to provide counseling for them. So the cheapest, more efficient way is take our kids away. So why I'm saying that is science, spirituality is one big sphere. It's indivisible, but only one side, it has to be proven. The other side, we know God put it there and he'll deal with it.
Yeah.
So that's how I define science. Science has got so far with kids. Oh, and let me finish the other part. So everything to them is numbers. Even their computer, 0 and 1. You see? So that's all there is, just 0 and 1. So it's everything is numbers. But us, it's the human being, it's the wellness of the human being. So the other thing they were told scientifically again, there was going to be a superbug. So the superbug came. The whole world was involved, not just us this time. So the whole world was involved. And what happened? We're still living the trauma of that superbug.
Mm-hmm.
You see how the world is so crazy? You know, they can't think straight because all of a sudden, Creator shook the tree. He shook the whole world, and then he saw what's fallen out, and that's the internal, unidentified trauma that was in us.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you, him,
Yeah. Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
But to us, that's what it was. And rather than take that time, that break in our life that Creator gave us, scientifically, they try to push against it, but they couldn't because they were powerless against a little bug that was in our system.
Yeah.
Now, our minds, a lot of people ask me about these things, hey, and they say, I'm really, I don't know what to do. I said, no, just settle down. Just know that something traumatic happened to you. It affected your mind. It's COVID. Because you were never locked up in your house for days on end, not knowing when it's your turn, and looking out the window, watching the world go by. Go back to before COVID, you'll be okay. But you see, science, it's the beyond spirituality, and it science has done a lot of good, but it also has done a lot of harm. But like you can't isolate science, you can't isolate math without the whole, because science depends on math. They're interdependent. So in our worldview, it's part of the whole sphere of creation.
Yeah. So yeah, I've always said I hope that all the sciences, everything is the same at one point. But like you said, there is that isolation of how global or Western science is. This is what science should be. This is chemistry separated. This is mathematics is separate, and there's no spirituality, and that's not part of science,
Yeah.
and that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that. I'm curious. You mentioned about the rocks and not digging beneath the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to know more about that. Is that
Well,
Like from what has happened, like climate change and everything, is that a connection to what has happened from digging beneath those rocks?
you gave me tobacco.
I gave you tobacco.
So that tobacco is what we plant. The Plains Indians, we were not farmers. We're hunters and gatherers. So the only thing I know we planted was tobacco. And it was only that far into the ground. So we were not allowed to go beyond that. Even our graves were above ground. And so the reason for that was in case that person comes back to life. And so you talk to the grave diggers, and they say in some of the coffins you can see the scratches on the covers, the lids. So mikatsakusite, it means it's beyond memory. So we're not supposed to touch it. So what did they do? Science again. They went below the rocks and they found dead animals from billions of years ago. Well, what happens when we die? You know, our internal how you say there's bacteria that will consume us from in the outside, inside. So what did they dig up? Those beings that were here before, the dinosaurs, they disturbed them. If they left them alone, the air, we won't have pollution. If they found other ways of energy, but again, the quickest and fastest way to make money was to pollute the skies and the earth. If you look in your even this computer you have, you search the number of oil spills in North America, and then the whole North America turns white. That what's in the ground. And so what did they do? Instead of dealing with cleanup, they just left it. And so you see areas in North America where the pipe just ends and the oil is still dripping. And, you know, why did they dig up the coal? Again, you know, it's from dead matter. So what do you expect? What do you expect? Can you eat a dead horse that was on the road for 5 days? No, because it's starting to decay. It's starting to give itself back to the Mother Earth.
Yeah.
You see? But them, you know, right now, they're trying to create, what is it, recreate the dodo bird, one of the birds that, you know.
Yeah. Or the mammoth,
you see? So what's wrong with us?
It's the ego again, right?
Yeah.
The ego and the greed.
Yeah. Why go so fast that you don't look back and see who you ran over?
Mm-hmm.
Now you see every day on the TV, there's food that's not edible because they got all kinds of warnings on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the earth is tired. And so, and then they're putting things into the ground they shouldn't. Instead of natural fertilizers, natural ways of cropping. And they can still do it. But again, you know, greed. A tractor that when I was farming, a tractor cost me maybe 20,000, 30,000. Today they're almost $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just think of the amount of diesel that's being burnt and it's being put back into the air. See? And then And then when 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 they stepped on the moon, my granny said, why did they have to do that? And so the medicine men, because they're spirit callers, and they say that the spirits have a harder time to come through from the sky because of it's like a net, they say. So that's the microwaves,
All of the
and they can't get through. They can get through, but it takes longer for them to get
from all the satellites and
all
all
the pollution
frequencies and
of the electronics surrounding the whole globe. So what do we do? And so it's gotta be the people that are in power and have the will and the intestinal fortitude to make it slow down. All we gotta do is slow down. My great-great-grandchildren, I don't know what they're gonna be driving, or even they're flying in the air, I don't know. But seeing now, I always say, it means that we sit home and we're worried about our families and the future, because we don't know. A long time ago, the medicine men, they used to predict everything, and the accuracy of it was what they depended on, and it was more accurate. Today, you cannot predict the weather. A long time ago, not even a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, you were still able to read the weather, but now you can't.
it's different. Yeah.
So if you ask me, how was the winter going to be? I have to tell you, wait till spring and I'll tell you. But Granny used to tell us, if this happens, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The moon used to tell you.
Yeah. Or the cottonwood buds. I heard that.
Yeah.
The winter buds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different.
Different.
Changes. Yeah.
So the earth is changing. And they were making fun of the year 2000. That's what it was.
I remember.
The Incas, the Mayans, it was true what they said. There was going to be a world change. And it's happening now.
I'm curious about. I've heard a story from Emil about a story you said about the connections between mushrooms, fungi, and the stars.
Well, the word for mushroom in Tsuut'ina is just forget what was the word? Sunaka, falling stars.
Falling stars.
So the mushroom is the only extraterrestrial spore that lands. One time my cousin Lee Crowchild, he had a whole bunch of people, mushroom gatherers, just ordinary people.
Yep.
They went through the whole reserve. They started early in the morning. They went west. And then the hall, we used to have a hall, just a small hall. They had tables lined up, rows like this. 2,500 mushrooms they found, species of mushrooms, in one day.
In one day.
Yeah.
Just in
You
this
can ask
area.
Lee.
Wow.
And it was just here. So they call it Sonaka, and that's why they call it from the heavens. It means the stars are falling. Falling
From the
stars.
spores.
From the spores. And that's the only extraterrestrial. So some of those mushrooms you see are not from Earth. They're from over there. And we believe that the other beings in the other galaxies. I'm going to cut a long story short. This woman was, these two girls were sitting outside their teepee. and they're looking up. There was a beautiful star. And one of them said, "That star is so beautiful. I wish I could make my husband." So they went to sleep, and next day they went and got to get wood. And here there was this young man standing, you know, away, some distance from them. And they said, "Ha, Tsuut'ina." That means, what do you think you're doing? And that man told her, "Why did you have to say what you said? I was minding my own business up in the sky. Now I came for you. I came to take you to my people." And then so she told her friend goodbye and to tell her parents. And they went up into the sky. And then so they had a child. Again, a long story short. And then he told her every time he goes hunting, he said there was buffalo. It was just like here. And then he told her there's one tall, you call it hoy, wild turnip. He said, "Don't dig that one up."
And this is in the sky.
Yeah, in the star. It's in buffalo manure. That's as tall as. So her and her son, they went to dig for the hoy. And then he saw that, it was the tallest one. And he started crying for it. Both his mom dug it up. Then when she went home, the man came home. He saw she was crying. She said, "I told you." He said, "No." He said, "I'm going to invite all the stars, make a feast." So he invited all the stars. He told them, "You go start gathering me buffalo hides. I'm going to cut a rope, a big long rope, and I'll tell you when I have enough." So he cut a whole mountain of buffalo hide. Then he put a net there. Then he put them in that net, and then he lowered them through that hole that he was looking through. Then she lowered. Then he looked up, and there was these boys who were playing the hoop and wheel game. And this one he had gummy eyes, and he couldn't see. But he was looking up. And he said, "Taza, na chesa." It means, "Oh my goodness, there's something coming towards us." And then, so they all laid down and they looked up and they said, "No, that's your gummy eyes. You just seen." But it was that woman and that child. And then she went to her parents, and then her son, they say he shone at night. And then so the husband came and said, "I came for you to take you home." So before he left, he gave the Tsuut'ina a weasel coat that the husband of the woman who makes a sun dance wears that coat. And they still
do?
it must have been a Blackfoot story, but they gave us the stories because they gave us a lot of ceremony. Mm-hmm. One of them was the sun dance. And they still do that. They still honor the girl that married a star. So that's how, you always tell a story, like the direct questions. It's meant for the listener to make sense of it, however they can. But to know that science and spirituality are the same thing. Only one is restless and looking. The other one understands that we're just a part of nature, part of the natural law, and that's what guides us. And it connects to science.
Restless. I like that. You mentioned about a couple of things about how there's no numbers or
Western or global science or mathematics is zeros and ones. It's about numbers. And when you were talking about the rocks and the stones and how, it's about, the top layer of the earth and connected with language. And I've been curious about this, this idea of, similar to what Leroy Littlebear has said from Guyana. And he said years ago to me, that in the Blackfoot language, there's, we don't need number, like the science, the numbers, the mathematics is within the language. How English had to create numbers, they had to create mathematics, they had to create a language to justify and to explain science and math. But it's already in the language, and I'm curious if you could explain more about more of the science that is within your language.
Well, you can count, okay? In Tsuut'ina and Dene, there's 10, okay? In some of the other languages, there's 12, but in Tsuut'ina, there's 10. And each one has a name. And so 10, they say Kundis Nane, it means you won all of it. I don't know why it's called that, but that's a name for it.
Yeah.
So each number has a name. And then so within the language, like you can say Îethka, two persons, two horses, things like that, you see. So the ka, okay, is the number. It means two. And then in the sentence, within the morphemes in the language, you know that it's both of us. And then you know each and every one of us. And then you know all of us. It's in the language, the way the language is built. So as far as I know, they call them Amerindian languages. All of them are made of morphemes, the little bits and pieces that make language create like that. And so, those are, you correlate that to numbers. And you say, okay, I can't like tutaka tanitliche. Okay, in my mind, I know that I can only put it so many spaces to the left and so many spaces to the right, numerically in my mind, you see.
Yeah.
So when we count in Tsuut'ina, we only go up to 1,000. So who gives a rat's ass, beyond 1,000? Because there's 600 million bucks.
So true.
It's beyond teeth. So you don't need numbers, you see.
Yep.
God gave us 1,000. That's what he gave us.
Yep.
So that must be what we're allowed to kill. 1,000 animals at a time. You see? I don't know. I'm only supposing, going on to what Leroy said.
Yep.
So, and then your relatives. You go 4 generations, and after the 4th generations, you can marry a distant relative. But these first 4 causes problems, numbers, see? So why do you need to go to 1 trillion? You see?
Yeah.
So even their money, the white man, the lira, okay? The lira was $1 $1. But in order to for whatever reason, they just kept putting zeros behind it. So I was in Italy. So I was a millionaire because I had 1,000,000 lira. But numbers, you see, why do you need numbers?
Yep.
You see, hours before contact, it was just trade. You see? And then you count the days by the amount of days that you went to sleep when the war passed. So they say, okay, we traveled for 4 days. And that's how it was. And everything was in the language, and it was not a great, humongous, quadruple what is it? Quadrillion, is it? Something like that. So you know why? You know, you can never. And when they say, when the treaties were signed, you know, they were saying they took the money. Some of the Blackfoot, I heard, okay, they burnt the money. They said, you see, you can burn this one thing, and then they took dirt, and they said, but this you can't burn it. It lasts forever.
Yeah.
You see, so the concept of numerology was within the language in that sense, you see, because we don't care, you know, beyond 1,000. Doesn't matter. What sense does it make?
Yeah.
And so even the time, you know, why do they mess with time? You see, daylight saving. They finally admitted that it's costing them money. Now, because it's costing them money, they're not going to keep it.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they know they're heading even though they know they're heading for a buffalo jump, they keep going like the climb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So science, you talk about science. Science is what is ruining the earth. Because you got people that come along and say, no, this is just natural. It's going to go back to what it was before. It isn't. It's not going to go back. But we have time. And they have to listen to us, the indigenous people, about natural law and how to fix things up the natural way. If they don't, you know, where are we going to go?
Yeah.
Mars? The
Well, that's
moon?
what they want. It's the easy one. It's the easy way. Just go. We mess all of this up. We'll just go over there. Right.
So that's what it is, you see. And you know, the holy numbers 4, 7, 28, 32, 36. That's all you worry about.
Yep.
The holy numbers.
Those have meaning, right?
Yeah.
They have their cycles. They have meaning.
Yes.
They have relationships.
Even these poles. The Tsuut'ina, this is a sitting buffalo. And it came in a dream. And these are the ribs. And the main pole, that's a spine, the one that holds a teepee. Yeah. And then these 4 mains are the buffalo's legs. Plain and simple. And this structure can withstand the water, all the elements, water, wind, fire, and earth. All the upheavals. You see, we have four worldwide, okay, the natural elements. But us, we have the 5th one, spirituality. And the white man, he goes like that at will, puts spirituality away. And then he destroys things. Mm-hmm. The old people, way back 20, 30 years ago, I remember them saying, the white man is a spoiled child. When he grows up, we'll be ready to teach him how to be a human being. Now I'm going home. I'm tired. So you got any more questions?
My last question was going to be, what's your hope for the future? Is your hope for the future of science? Or
if you say, what is my hope for the future? I just want everything to be okay for my great-grandchildren, who I will not see. I got great-grandchildren, and I'll be just a dream. But it's like you heard before, the minute you're born, you begin to die. And so in why do you respect elders? It's we're rising. Our soul is rising. And so we begin to be the conduit for the human being to create it. And in our later life, we slow down and we start getting ready to to go to the next world in a peaceful way, and all our relatives would be waiting for us. And when we get there, there's an eternal sun dance. Everybody happy dance, just greed, and everybody's laughing. And that's what we prepare for. A quiet Passover. If you ever see someone going like this on their deathbed, you grab their hands and put it like that. Don't do that. You finish with this life. Don't keep grabbing for something that's no longer there. Go now. It's your time.
Thank you. This has been a great conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Yeah.